Hey, what's going on YouTube? Or Storm here with another deck profile for you guys today. Today we profile Battlin Boxers for the post-BOSH format. I'm going to be reprofiling them because last time I had some pretty commenters who questioned my card choices, so I'm going to go a little bit more in depth so we don't have to, have enough salt to fill the Atlantic Ocean flowing. So anyways, we've got 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Glass Straw, so the main point of this card is that when it's targeted for an attack, it's destroyed, but when it's sent to graveyard by a card effect, including its own, it adds the target to your hand. That includes if it's detached for, and listen carefully, a continuous card effect. That means something like Yugioh's protection effect or something like 101's protection effect. It has to be for a continuous card effect. So you can't get it for detach it from any random XYZ, it's only for protection effects. So just to clarify. 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Switch Hitter. When this card is normal summon, you can target one Battlin Boxer monster graveyard, special summon it, but you can't special summon anything except Battlin Boxer monsters for the rest of the turn. Or during the turn you activate the effect, so it's not like some cards where you can special everything and then normal this. So this card is really good. I wish it didn't have as much restrictions as it did, but gotta roll with the punches when you're playing Rogue. 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Headgear. I don't like this card at 3 because it clogs a bit. I have way too many other cards that I want to normal summon besides this. That includes Switch Hitter and other cards. I don't want to be normaling this all the time unless I'm going first. And I like Foolish Burial a lot better because it sets up a lot easier, and I can send anything with Foolish. And next 2 cards are 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Spar. This card can be special summoned if you control a Battlin Boxer monster, but you cannot conduct your battle phase for the rest of the turn. It does mean you can special summon main phase too. One of my commenters basically said that I should be running 3. The thing is, the deck is Battlin Boxers. You're not supposed to be skipping your battle phase. You're not supposed to be waiting until main phase 2 to go through your combos. You're supposed to be punching your opponent in the face. So yeah, that's why this is in here too. And then 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Shadow. This card is really, really good. It's an 1800 stick that can be special summoned during your main phase by detaching seed material from a Battlin Boxer monster in order to special summon it. This also triggers Glass Straw. It's really combos really well with this guy. Spar's pretty decent. That's one of the reasons why these cards combo so well together, so yeah. For some of the off-theme support, 2 copies of Photon Thrasher. Thrasher is a really good beat stick. You can special summon it when you control no other monsters. You can special summon this card. And the key thing to remember is that you cannot Foolish this and special summon it. It has to be, it's like PLS, you have to special summon it first through its summoning condition in order to bring it back with this next card. So just FYI. And the last 3 monsters are 3 copies of Masked Chameleon. Now they might say this is a lot. Chameleon, when it's normal summon, special summons a monster with 0 defense. That's Photon Thrasher here. That's a Glass Straw. You have 5 targets, but the thing is, I want to see this card as much as possible because it's a toolboxy card. It pretty much gives you access to your entire extra deck, so yeah, 3. Then spells, 3 copies of Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin was actually a recommendation, I think, from the first regional I went to. A guy said that I should run this because he said something along the lines that, quote, Yugioh can get up to like 38 attack or something absurd. So that's the theory with this card, is that you can summon a lot of beefy beaters. You don't mind, giving your opponent some life. 2 Dark Holes. You can also run Regeki instead of this if you don't like it, but I just prefer, I like Dark Hole because it can trigger Yugioh, put on opponent's field. Pretty good. 2 Forbidden Lance, because we have a lot of boss monsters that don't like back row. This card is pretty good. Again, a lot of matchups where your opponents are heavy back row. It protects you from Storming Mirror Force and Burning Mirror Force, which are becoming more popular. So yeah. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. I'm thinking about probably changing this for Twin Twister because it gets dead Glass Straws out of my hand. It allows me to set up Switch Hitter, plus it clears my opponent's field of notices. But for now, 2 Misties is not bad. Now for the 1-ofs, 1 Foolish Burial, like I mentioned earlier, this card is much faster than Headgear because you don't have to normal summon it. And you can also send Chameleon and to set up your Call the Haunted plays, so it's better. Then 1 Soul Charge, even though Thought Ruler's been cut from the extra deck, I still like Soul Charge in this deck because it allows me to make just insane boards, so why not? Last one, Reinforcement the Army, because it's at 1, but you still need to run it. Now for the traps, 2 copies of Call the Haunted. This is one of my favorite traps in the deck because it's chainable. Twin Twisters running everywhere, so people are just blindly Twin Twistering your back rows. So what you can do is you can bring your Glass Jaw back and trigger its effect because it's being sent by a card effect in the case of this, by the effect of this, so, you know, pretty good. Same thing with this card, 2 Skill Prisoner. Skill Prisoner is really good because, yes, it doesn't protect your Yokes from Ignister, but, you know, it does protect you from the main threats, which are Big Eye, 101, and Castell. People are always going to try to Castell or 101 your lead yoke because they can't remove it with traditional forms removal. People aren't playing cards that really banish and that don't go. They're going to have to go into their extra deck, so that's where this comes in, and you really do narrow it down with your opponent Big Eyeing your stuff. Also need to mention that this card does stop this card right here, Effect Failure, because Effect Failure is a monster effect that targets. So thought I'd mention that. Tomb Fiendish Chains, and this stops those Ignisters from ruining your day, and just a genuinely good card. You have to time it right. You don't just Fiendish the first thing you see. You Fiendish the big threats, the Big Eye, you know, the Castells, etc. Now we're getting to the one-ofs. 1 Skill Drain. Now, this was actually a tech with my friend I recommended one day. He said you could actually turn the deck into a Skill Drain beatdown deck, and I kind of scoffed at the idea, but it's actually not a bad idea because your Glassjaw, with Skis out, your opponent cannot, your Thrasher can actually attack what you have with their monsters while this out, and Glassjaw won't die when it's attacked while this is face up. And this isn't great against Cosmo, but it's great in a lot of other matchups. I mean, it's semi, I feel like Cosmo can easily play around this card, but it's decent against them, the thing is that they banish for cost, so I just feel like Skill Drain's kind of mediocre against them, but it's pretty good against everything else. The 1 Emptiness, because Emptiness and Lydia is still pretty irritating for your opponent and it wins games. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, because Pendulums. The 1 Solemn Warning for stopping Denko and stopping Pendulums. And lastly, the 1 Torrential Tribute, because the same reason we run Dark Hole. Now that rounds off the monster lineup, the main deck for the extra deck. We're running 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Lead Yoke. Pretty much stacked boss monster, so if a Battlin Boxer monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach an Exceed material, and whenever an Exceed material is detached from this card, it gains 800 attack. So one of my janky builds actually ran Exceed block to take advantage of that. Like I said earlier, remember Glassjaw will get its effect when it's detached from this. Just don't remember that. Then 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Nova Kaiser. So this card came out in World Superstars. It's really good. Its effect is it's a generic, but just kind of irrelevant. So first effect is once per turn you can attach a Battlin Boxer monster's Exceed material from your graveyard or hand, and it gains 100 attack for each. So when this is summoned, it's already, and it activates the fact that it's going to be slightly bigger than Utopia. So 2600 is a key number because you can beat it into Yazzie and, you know, annoying stuff that has targeting protection. And then when it does die by battle or card effect with opponent's card, it can special summon it however many materials he had, which works wonders with this next card, which is number 86, Champion Ragnaminiad. So a lot of people were telling me I should actually tech this card in the deck, and I thought about it, and I said, well, I'm already playing Soul Charge, and it combos really well with this guy, so the fact that you can make a 4 Matilda Ragnaminiad and just, you know, stop your opponent from playing for a turn is just really, really good. I mean, it's an obscenely good card. The 1 Abyss Dweller, because matchups against Cosmo and is not very good, and deck does not like floaters. That's why Dweller's here. 1 Castell for spinning away annoying problem threats. I think Castell kind of speaks for itself. 1 Silent Honor Arc for those monsters we don't want to keep put back in our opponent's deck. We don't want them bringing them back out next turn. The 1 King of the Feral Imps, like, why, come on me, why isn't this card in hollow? Searching out our Masked Chameleons. The 1 Karen Gorgon for protecting our lead yokes from cards like Fiendish Chain and Breakthrough Skill. And this is an Emptiness, just GG no re. And last Exceed monster is 1 copy of Dark Rebellion Dragon. One thing I did love about this card is that it's just basically another beefy beater, which again, this deck does has a plethora of, but getting this and Yoke out and just having this have an obscene amount of attack and just is just really good. Now, for the synchros have been cut down. However, if you do insist on running Counterpunch, you can actually run Psyframe Lord Omega. I think Omega is really good in decks where you can recur banishing resources, so that's why I don't have an Omega, but if you have one, feel free to run it. And then 1 copy of Stardust Dragon. So Stardust Dragon is just really, really good this format. I've done a video on the card and how good it is. Being able to stop Regeki Dark Hole isn't as relevant in this deck, but it's a lot more relevant when you know your opponent is going to be running. You stops Wavering Eyes, it stops Pendulum Sorcerer, and it stops Luster Pendulum. It's just a really, really good card. Your opponent forces your opponent to play around it. The 1 Scrap Dragon, because Scrap Dragon is really good with a combination of Ledio. You can make this, make Scrap Dragon, pop Ledio, target the back row, and clear it off. And lastly, 1 copy of Red Dragon Archfiend Scarlight. Now, this card and Ledio is a pretty good combo. If you don't know what this card does, it blows up, destroys as many effect monsters on. You can destroy as many special summon effect monsters on the field as possible that have attack or less than equal to this card, and you burn your opponent 500 each. Remember that unlike Hot Red, this will not blow up vanilla. So if your opponent has like a Dragon Pit Magician or like a Dark Magician, you know, Blue Eyes White Dragon, etc., this will not blow them up. But however, the main reason I like this card is it doesn't prevent my Lead Yoke from attacking, which is really nice. And it causes Yang Zings to miss timing because the burn damage happens before they hit is the last thing to happen. So this card is really, really good. I feel like I can't wait to just take it for a test spin in the deck. But so anyways, guys, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this deck profile. And as always, you can like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.